My next guest rocks. He was the host of That Metal Show on VH1, which was a standard for metalheads all across the globe. And he currently hosts That Jamieson Show on Compound Media. He also has a new comedy album that came out last year called Denim and Laughter on Metal Blade Records. And it's available now on YouTube and everywhere you can find music and comedy and all that good stuff. He's also appearing at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club this weekend, February 4th through 6th. So here he is, folks, the headbanging, hilarious Don Jamieson. Don, how you doing, man?
Hey, it's the Don and Don show today, man.
Yeah, man. I always tell people us Dons have to stick together, man.
Oh, absolutely. Now more than ever, my friend.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Now, so are you in New York or New Jersey? Where are you now? Like,
Yeah, I'm snowed in here in Jersey, and so writing a lot of dick jokes today and shoveling my driveway.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we got hit with this blizzard or nor'easter or whatever they're calling it, and we're all kind of stuck indoors. It's nothing new this year for us, right?
Yeah, but we can do this, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly, man. Thank God.
It's a zooming world, Don.
Yeah, man. I used to tell people, like, in the beginning of this whole thing, imagine if this happened in like the 80s or the 90s and we were all quarantined and we didn't have this kind of access like we have now, man.
Yeah, well, guess what, Don? We would have figured it out. We always did, right?
True indeed. Man.
I left my house at 7 a.m, walked to the bus stop, and my parents didn't see me till 5 o'clock when dinner was on the table. But you know what? I always showed up. So we would have figured a way. It's the whole social media landscape and all that stuff. For all the good that it does, where you could, especially for comics, we could promote our gigs and all that stuff. It's a fucking disaster, man. I mean, you go on Twitter and it's just like a hate fest, and it's just like, oh man, what have we turned into? I think those days were I hate to sound like the old guy, get off my lawn, but the old days were simpler, right?
Way simpler, man. Like you said, like social media is really like just becoming a cluster. Like, sometimes you wonder when you post something on YouTube or whatever, or Facebook or Twitter, what kind of reaction you're gonna get. You don't know, man. Who's it's gonna be a friendly fire or or a hate fest, man. It's crazy. But it is cool talking to you because I was a big fan of That Metal Show. I used to write for Circus Magazine, so I was kind of
cool.
in the metal world a little bit. I don't know if you were a reader of Circus, but it was like teen beat for metalheads basically. But it was good times, man.
Peter Frampton, the Bee Gees, Kiss, Linda Ronstadt. You'll find them all in one exciting weekly magazine, Circus. Every week, Circus Magazine reveals the truth about the incredible rock and roll scene.
I'm Jerry Rothberg, editor of Circus Magazine, and I want you to read the toughest, timeliest, gutsiest magazine around.
I miss magazines. That was our social media, Don, right?
Yeah,
Circus Magazine, Kerrang, Rip, all those great magazines. That we don't have anymore because, now you could just pick up your phone and see something in 2 seconds. But yeah, that was literally our social media, that and going out and buying albums.
Yeah, it's crazy that some of these things are being lost upon the generations, that coming after us, man. Like, like there was nothing better than getting that magazine, like it was Hit Parade or a Circus or whatever, and hanging up those pictures out of the magazine on your wall. Like they don't have that anymore. These kids, I don't even know what they're putting on their walls now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, man. It's like, and then you'd open up Circus Magazine and you go, oh, Motley Crue has a new album coming out in September, but it was only April, and you had to wait. You're like, I can't wait anymore, and nothing leaked out, so you never heard a song in advance. You never saw the artwork, nothing, and you waited and you saved your lawn mowing money, and then you ran to the record store. Which again, that was also social media in the sense of, that's a social activity where, you're looking through the record bins and somebody's a few over and you go, oh, what are you looking for? I'm looking for the new Motorhead. Oh yeah, I'm looking for Motley over here. Oh, Motley's got a new record out. Yeah. And then now you're friends. Hey, I'll come back next week after I cut some more lawns. Meet me here on Saturday and, let's pick up some new albums. So, Yeah, those are the days, man.
Yeah, man, it was good. I remember like even being younger and discovering new music because my neighbor who was like a teenager and I was like, maybe 12, 13, and this guy was like 18, but he was
Yeah.
like, I would go over to him and one day he came over, gave me all his Kiss albums. And I was like, wow, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm now listening to this other band called Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, oh, can I listen to that? And I remember being a kid listening to Zeppelin for the first time. And I'm a kid. And I'm just like, I'll go listen to the Kiss records. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those kind of times, now it's different. I guess it's the same, but different,
Yeah, I mean, back then we, friends would make each other, mixtapes, and that's how I, cassettes. That's
Yeah,
how I
yeah.
found out. Not like rock and roll, Don, but also with comedy, because my buddy in high school was this guy Steve Stevenson. He used to record George Carlin albums on cassette and give them to me because his parents were way cooler than mine. They let him listen to that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to have to listen to the cassette in the Radio Shack tape recorder with the one earbud, like late at night after my parents went to bed. But
that's
now,
awesome,
you can make somebody up an Apple Music playlist or a Spotify playlist. So we still kind of have that, but it was definitely especially when it was like listening to Carlin or Cheech and Chong, it was way more subversive to have to like meet my friend in the hallway at school and get the cassette and take it home and hide it from mom and dad.
Hey, white girl! Hey, mama, come on over. I'll clear up a place for you to sit down, baby. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, man. I remember the Cheech and Chong, man. That like, because it was the same way. Obviously, I'm born '71, so I think we're close in age. But yeah, coming up, I remember Cheech and Chong, man, had it when I first got cable at HBO or Showtime, or whichever, and Up in Smoke. Yeah, I had to like watch that thing in secret, but the whole time, my brother's guarding the door. We're watching it.
That a joint, man? That goddamn looks like a quarter pounder, man. Led Zeppelin.
That was the days, man. Now on the phone, these kids could see the most hardcore stuff that they're seeing hardcore stuff that I still haven't seen yet. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's like Florentine. Florentine says in his act, now kids are one mouse click away from seeing a chick blow a horse.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Freaking time is crazy, man. But what's cool is that we did come up with all this great music, and that's what I love about what you're still doing now with the Don Jamieson show and what you did with that metal show is you kind of reintroducing a lot of these metal bands to newer, younger people that might not have known all this stuff.
You just passed the audition, George. You got the job. I made it.
Take me a little through those experiences. You've met have you met all of your heroes, or is there anyone like on your wish list that you haven't interviewed yet? Because
man, yeah, it's tough. I mean, the only person, I think I've met everybody that really has meant a lot to me over the years. But yeah, the people we didn't get to on that metal show, unfortunately, it was Eddie Van Halen, even though I met Eddie another time, Ozzy and Gene and Paul from Kiss. And, I'm like you, Kiss was my first band, Kiss was my gateway drug.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
But to me, it was like, hey, we had Ace and Peter on the show from Kiss, and Bruce Kulick was on. And unfortunately, I never got to meet or know Eric Carr, but, I always remember Eddie telling me, man, I hate that Eric died so young, but I also hate that he never met you guys because he would love you guys so much because he was such a great ball buster like you guys are and all that. So, but yeah, I didn't take it personally. It's like, not everybody had to do, they weren't obligated to watch or be on that metal show. We had a little fun back and forth with Gene and Paul over the years. We took a few shots at them. They took a few shots back at us. all in, you know, all in good fun.
Honestly, that's I guess an acquired taste for some, and to me, it's Wayne's World.
Listen, man, I'm a humble guy, man. You know, I like to go out. I like to perform. I love the music, same music I've loved since I was a kid. And man, I'm grateful that anybody paid attention to us, and that a lot of these guys have become friends, man. And now that I'm doing my own thing, I can shoot people a text or an email and say, hey, I'm doing my own thing over at Compound Media. It's that Jamieson show. It's my little way of keeping the spirit of that metal show alive. And why don't you come on and talk to me for 20 minutes and we can do it just like this.
Yeah, man. I know, you know, do you think metal will ever get back to its heyday level, the status it was either in the 80s during that era or even in the early 2000s with that whole new metal scene? Do you think, well, like when it still was like, you know, bands like Disturbed and Godsmack were all over the radio. Yeah. Now it's hard to find rock on any mainstream media. It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah, but you know what, man? 2020 was going to be a big year for rock because you had big reunions. Motley Crue doing that stadium tour, right?
Yeah.
The Motley Crue said, we're never touring again. We're signing this contract. We can never break it legally. And I said to McMars on that metal show, right to him, I said, don't worry. I know you guys will be back. I know you're not trying to pull the wool over your fans' eyes, but what happens is the same thing happens to every band. They break up, and a year later, they're like, I'm just sitting around. Why don't we go back? Why are we wasting time? Let's go back out and do it again. And sure enough, they did. So, but that was what was going to be the start of a big year. So Motley going out on a big stadium tour that was sold out in advance. You had My Chemical Romance reuniting. You had the Black Crowes reuniting. Yeah. Rage Against the Machine reuniting. And then there's a whole slew of newer bands that, you know, like Greta Van Fleet and Rival Sons and Crowbot and the Cruel Knives. There's all these, and the Pretty Reckless, all these young bands that are coming up, you know, that were all going to be putting out albums and touring in 2020. And yeah, and we all know what happened.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts, man. I would like to see it get back on its feet again, because I don't know if, you know, you ever listen to anything on mainstream radio. I got daughters, so sometimes I get forced to listen to some of this stuff, and man, it's tough. It's not easy. There's not even guilty pleasures. It's just like, oh my God, like I had to take a road trip, you know, to North Carolina from New York, and it was 10 hours of listening to that stuff, man, and it takes its toll on you.
It does. You know what, man? But it's crazy, man. But because the music we like, dude, has so many ebbs and flows, and sometimes it rocks all the way up here, and then sometimes way down here, and you think, we'll never get it back again, and then it does, and like, so that's just the nature of the music that we like. It's, you know, you always say like, why aren't these bands bigger or whatever? But then, you know, being like we are, like, we like our stuff to be more underground.
Right. Like, yeah, that's the other like, side. So
how many Metallica fans got pissed off when they put out the Black Album because they sold out? Everyone likes Metallica now.
We do what we want to do, you know. If they consider that selling out, then whatever.
There's a lot of people think you sold out just because you're on a major label and are very popular.
Or maybe you don't play 1,000 miles an hour the whole time, or, you know.
I mean, we'd be doing the same thing if we were still on, you know, independent labels.
Music now, dude, you know, especially for younger people, and it's not their fault, it's disposable. All right, this is a good song. I'll listen to this the whole summer. You know, I'll listen to this Cardi B song for 3 months, and then you'll never hear it again. And nobody really cares, because then another song will come on that people will like. And
that pull-out game weak.
You know, I still collect vinyl, man. I do what I do.
That's what I try to do too. I don't like. I still collect vinyl, but I don't want the reissued vinyl that they sell. You know, the new one. I like to find the old stuff, so I go to thrift stores or whatever. I like to find them too. I don't like to just order them on eBay. I wanted, like, holy, I can't believe somebody threw out the. Look at this! I got the Judas Priest records, man. You know.
Yeah.
That's like, then it feels like treasure. It's like, it's only $1 each, man.
Same. I never order. Unless it's a unless I want to pre-order something because it's a special edition. I'm the same way. I dig through the racks. You know, I can. Oh my God! Look at this First Angel album for $2 in perfect condition. They don't know what they have here. You know?
Exactly, dude. It's like gold. Now, I also wanted to talk to you too, because you know, throughout the years with stand-up comedy, there's been a couple of rock star level comedians, whether it's, you know, Dice or Sam Kinison, put Jim Brewer in there. What other comedians would you say are rock star comics? And would you ever want to put together like a rock, or has there been one already? I don't know about a rock star kind of comedian, like Kings of Comedy, but, you know, rockers of comedy or something like that.
Yeah, man. I've been, you know, that was something I was working on for 2020 because, like I said, I knew there was going to be this surge of rock bands going out on the road. And I wanted to I started to put together what I called the Monsters of Comedy.
Awesome.
You know, it was going to be me and House Sparks and this guy, Richard Hunter. And then, you know, if it kind of took off, then I wanted to rotate people in like Brian Posehn, Brewer, Jim Norton, Jim Florentine, Craig Gass, Dean Del Rey. So there's a nice group of us rocker comics who all wear it on our sleeve out there now. But you're right, man. It was funny back in the day. It was so cool for guys like Dice and Kinison and Bobcat to go out and they would open for rock bands and stuff. And that was so cool. And then it was so not cool for like 25 years.
Thank you. Right away before I get started, I'd like to tell you that this isn't my smoke. This is White Snake smoke.
And now audiences are open to it again because I go out and open for bands all the time and crowds are into it, you know?
Remember those videos in the 80s? I want to rock. We're not going to take it that we're wearing women's lingerie and makeup. I was like, either these are the ugliest chicks from New York or the hottest chicks from Odessa.
Yeah, I think now a lot of the audiences, especially, you know, metal audiences, when they love stand-up comedy and they want they want the edge, and that's another thing, you know. We have to keep comedy edgy, man. We can't. That's one thing we can't let these whatever they are, these cancel call SJWs, whatever you want to call them. We can't let them win this one, man. We have to fight this one.
You know what's crazy though, Don? You know, in this like insanely hypersensitive world we're in right now, and then with the lockdown and everyone's scared of catching COVID and all this stuff, it defies logic, but somehow comedy has actually gotten better. The audiences, and I'm still trying to. It's like if I went out now and I drove my Ford Fusion 90 miles an hour down my block and I slammed on the brakes and I didn't go sliding for another mile. That's like, you know, it defies description. Like these crowds should be miserable. They should be angry at everything you say. You know, every little buzzword should piss them off. They shouldn't even be coming into the clubs because everyone's scared. Oh, what if a piece of spittle flies 30 feet across the room and lands in my mouth? And
I went to see an AC/DC tribute band a few weeks ago. They were called ADHD. They played the first third of every song.
But I gotta say, man, the crowds the last 5 months that I've been going back on stage, they're just like, you know what? Just hit us with everything you got because we've been inside for the last 6 months and we just want to laugh and we don't care. And so it's a weird phenomena. I'm sure that window's gonna close, Don. But in the meantime, comics, if you can and you're able to go out and work, hit them with your best shot, man. The crowds have been awesome.
I'm doing my own concert. It's gonna be called The Big Four of Trash. Fall Out Boy, Maroon 5, Limp Bizkit, and Nickelback. And then we let Ted Nugent go bow hunting during the concerts.
Yeah, because people want to laugh now more than ever, and the fans of comedy are coming out. Like, you know, I wish we were open here in Long Island. I would love to have you come to Governors and perform over here. But at least places in New Jersey are still open. Connecticut, I think, still have some clubs open. So there's still places to perform. Audiences are still coming out. And that's huge, man. And that just says it all. That the supply and the demand, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I miss Governors, man. I played there so many times with Dice and James and everybody over there. Always so cool to me. So yeah, when everything opens back up, I'd love to. And I know Governors is a place where they do things right. That's the cool thing too, is like all the clubs that I've been able to work. Obviously we're not working as much as we like to. But the clubs are doing a great job with the social distancing and everything, that where the audience feels at ease, but it's not too awkward for the comics. Like it's too spread out. Like it's still okay, man. But for me, it's like I don't care. I'm not worried about catching this thing. I don't want it, but if I get it, I get it. I'm gonna go down swinging. As if the audience is tense, the show's gonna suck. If they walk in and they kind of go, oh, wow, that's cool. They have different circles and they got the tables here. Okay, everything's all right, good. I feel relaxed. You want to wear your mask? Wear your mask. You don't want to wear it, whatever. I don't care, But as long as the audience is comfortable, I'm comfortable.
Right on, man. Yeah. And then that just everyone's happy and positivity and the old adage that to me it always makes perfect sense, but even though it's might be corny, whatever it is, laughter is the best medicine. And it really is. When people are in a good mood, when they're laughing and they're happy, that transcends everywhere else, man. So you gotta keep that energy popping, and that's why comedy is so important. And I still don't think, even after all these years, from the vaudeville till now, people don't understand how important comedy truly is, man.
Yeah, well, they're introducing themselves to this art form that maybe they took for granted for a while. Just like with concerts too. But people they're realizing how much they miss going to see a show, whether it's rock or country or whatever, but music. But like I said, man, the comedy crowds have been great. They also know, let's say here in Jersey, we're at 25% capacity, so they know. Okay, when I play Uncle Vinny's this weekend, a sellout's 38 tickets. So they have to want to be there and they have to want to get the tickets in advance. And so you're getting real comedy fans as opposed to a bunch of people who are hanging out, having dinner in Point Pleasant, and they go, oh, there's a comedy club over there. Let's just go over there and see what's up. And they don't know who's on the show or whatever. And sometimes those crowds can also be good, but sometimes you get enough people in there who kind of just wandered in, and it's like it's not their style of humor. It brings the whole show down.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So now one of the positives is you're getting audiences that want to be there and are ready for Don Jamieson, for when they come out this weekend.
He's like, well, you probably Googled me to make sure that I wasn't a serial killer. I'm like, I've been dating for 35 years. Most of the fun I'm getting out of tonight is the fact that I might be on a date with a serial killer. She had crazy eyes. I'm like, I'm either gonna have the best time of my life or I'm gonna be on Forensic Files next week.
Another cool thing that's really metal about you is that your album that came out, I think last year, was Denim and Laughter, was on Metal Blade Records. Is it just you and are you the only comic? I think maybe Florentine has one too, album out on that label.
Yeah, and Brewer put one album out on Metal Blade.
Oh, did he? Yeah, that's awesome.
I've done all my records on Metal Blade, so see, that was the thing. Like in the late '90s, when computers, comics were starting being able to burn their own CDs on their computers, and they could do their own artwork, and so every comic was putting out an album, and I was just like, I know I have the material, but I want some other connection, like I wasn't looking for this big record deal. I know, I'm not a huge name, but when I met Brian Slagle from Metal Blade and he offered me a deal, I totally thought he was pulling my chain, like we were hanging, having drinks and stuff. And he was like, yeah, if do you want to do a record, man? I'd love to do one with you. And I had gone on the road with one of the bands on his label. So he saw me open for a metal band, and I didn't answer him for like a year. And he hired me to do this convention out in Palm Springs, and he comes and picks me up at the airport. He flies me out. He picks me up at the airport, and he's like, you never gave me an answer on that record deal. I'm like, you were serious?
That's awesome.
And then within 5 minutes, before we were even out of the airport, we had a record deal, in place.
Damn.
And I've been with those guys ever since, man. It's awesome. That's the connection that I was looking for.
Yeah, that's cool. You're like label mates with like, Kill Switch Engage and all these metal bands. You're like, hey, that's my label mate. That's awesome.
Yeah, King Diamond. And,
yeah, dude.
Great band.
Are there any street jokes about heavy metal?
Street jokes. Oh boy.
Like I have one I could tell you that I got.
All right, you tell me yours. Yeah.
I Did you hear about the heavy metal band that also makes Christmas music? They're called Slayer.
I do a joke in my act, Don, where I go, I guess my sense of humor from my mother. She knows I go out and open for rock bands, so she heard I was going out on tour, and she said, "Oh yeah, who are you going out with this time?" I said, "I'm going out with Nashville Pussy." And without missing a beat, my mom said, "I didn't even know Billy Ray Cyrus was still performing."
Oh, that's great, man! Props to your mom, fast thinking.
She's funnier than I am.
Awesome.
She's opening for me at Uncle Vinny's this weekend.
Well, Don, I appreciate you taking the time, man. You truly rock on all the levels. Tell everybody where they can find you on like social media and all that good stuff, and also where you're going to be this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll be at Uncle Vinny's February 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, Don Jamieson, Jamieson. I do have something up on Facebook that I'm locked out of for some reason, but that's a whole other story. But I'm good about posting all my dates and stuff. And hey, man, I appreciate you reaching out to do this and stuff. And that's one good thing that's come out of this, man. It's like everybody's been reaching out to each other, whether it's to do something like this, whether it's a text to say, how you doing? How's your mental state and all that stuff, and appreciate people coming out and laughing their balls off, because it's therapy for me too. It's therapy for us comics,
yes,
as well as it is for the audience. So hope to see people out this weekend. I hope to see you out on the island sometime, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. It'd be great to meet you in person. Like I said, you rock, and if you ever want to come back on the show anytime, always welcome. If you have anything you want to promote or just talk to me, it'll be an honor, man. You rock, my friend. Thanks
so
again.
much, Don.
All right, Don Jamieson, everybody.
Hi, this is Special Ed. Hey, Don and Betty. Yay! You're making a world a better place with your comedy, and everyone needs to check you guys out. Yay! Because Benny is old, and Don has messy hair. Yay! Hey, Benny, you're old. Do your balls hang really low? Yay! Benny's balls hang really low. Is your big boy hair gray now? Because you're old? Yay! Yay! That's great. And Don has messy hair. I got messy hair too, but you can't tell most of the time because I'm wearing a helmet. Yay! Yay! Special Ed wears a helmet. That's great. Well, check out Don and Betty and check their stuff out because they're funny. Yay! I gotta go poop. Bye now, lady.